tell my story. Mom's laying down. I'll tell my war story for Mom's bedtime story. She's already asleep, I think. Oh, hi, Sandy. My cat just had a snack. Is the volume up? Okay. I'm going to tell my war story because all over the interwebs, I see stuff about what's going on the. It's got to be a headline. What is it? The SS. Is it a Lincoln? It's not a headline. Okay. Allison Janney reveals why she never married or had kids. That's a headline, but what's going on? Like, this country is such a joke, man. It's a joke without a cute little funny punchline. Oh, he's aging real good, isn't he? He's fought all of his demons. His demons didn't win at all. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I wonder if you know what, I never asked Meta about that. What's happening with the ship in the Middle East where troops have been destitute for quite some time now? Not my cat. He's over here. Sally, my little co-host. They're better than Muppets. I can't remember what it's called. They're gonna bring it up. I guess it's not in mainstream media. They're scrubbing it. People are getting a bunch of messages from their families. People are jumping ship. They're jumping ship. I've been telling people since '03, like, dude, don't let nobody you love enlist. Don't do it. It's not worth seeing the world. It's not. There's better ways. Go be a hobo. Go see the world that way. Go rely on the kindness of strangers. Go beg for money on the internet. Don't enlist into the military. I'm gonna tell you my war story because these kids, man, I had this mentor in life some years ago. We're just gonna call her that, okay? She wasn't that much older than me, and she is like a G12, G13. Like she started out working in the BX. She was not military, she was a civilian. It's just because of who she knew, she got to gain the ranks. And she married a dude, and the dude had a son that was in the Navy. And the last time I wore my dress blues uniform was at that kid's funeral, who was 19 years old, because he jumped off of the ship. Now, we are presented reality of what the military is. They tell us our whole lives. They give us little shows like MASH. Look, you gotta look for the funny side in war. And the bottom line is we never have any business over there. We never have any reason to be over there. Anything that happens over there, it's never the business of the United States. The United States should take care of its states and keep relations open with all. But predominantly take care of the people of this land, regardless of the revolving door. You know, just be hospitable. Wherever you are, make people feel at home, even if that home isn't yours. And so, these kids, you know, like, they go from wherever they come from and enlist for whatever reason. I did it for college. I didn't enlist to go to war. I didn't enlist to kill for a thrill. I never wanted to hurt anybody. I wanted a Bachelor of Science degree so I could get a job, so I could use my EPA to take care of my mother. That was my life's plan. And my creator said, we're going to give you a little bit different story. So, that kid that jumped off the ship, like, it was all hush hush. Like, it was a big deal. I don't know. It was wild. The TV's on, but the mute's on, so the light's going to be messing with the camera. That's what that is. It's not too woo or nothing. So, to the young people that signed up to make your life better and said, okay, I'll give you my life, take care of it, and then the government didn't take care of its commodities, I can relate. Because I was on Crete when we bombed Iraq in 2003. I'm an old lady. I was 25 when I was on Crete. Here, let me get this light, because this is going to bother me. Let me get this here. My production. I had to get my stagehand. Get the light. Okay, mom just went to bed, so she don't care. So she'll sleep through anything. So I got notified that they were gonna send me. I never paid much in the news, and I was like in college at the time. I was going to school for 2 degrees. I was working on my associates at the same time as my bachelor's because I only had a certain amount of time to finish because I didn't want to owe nobody nothing, and so I wanted to use my GI Bill while I was in, and so I started going to school right when it pretty much started kicking off, kind of a thing. And they're like, we're gonna send you to Crete. I was like, oh, cool. Like, a bunch of people that I knew from recovery had a going away party for me, you know. A girl I was dating that picked the guy, she called me to say goodbye and everything, you know, because I was shipping off. I didn't even use it to get lucky or nothing. My brother called. He called for a different reason. He called to make sure that I signed my power of attorney, to make sure that if I died or if anything happened to me, that he would get anything that he felt that I owed him in life. He would get it. Because when you die in the military, like if you get the life insurance policy, like back when I was in, it was $200,000, I think, is what it was. So that was weird. I didn't get a well-wishing. He's a fraternity brother. His loyalty goes to his fraternity brothers. It never went to his little sister. You know, it's guys like him that make up the system. They beat up on women. They hate women. Because women put them in their place. And they want... Anyway. So... I end up at Offutt, and it was so weird because they have you go through staging areas before you get on the plane. It's so psychological. It's so bizarre. It's very ritualistic. Like you go. I remember I went through this room, and you go through like a gauntlet. It's all this tape. This U-shaped table with all of this loot on it, all this swag. So you can go on the cargo plane and like have a care package with you, take with you. I got the CD Collective Soul gel. I still have that CD. I was like, right on, because people are just want to take care of their soul. It's all a game. It's all an act. And then so they put us on a cargo plane. They pile us on these big they pile all of our stuff and then pack them with hard sides, and you just have people sleeping everywhere. You just have it's like they're all over the place. I found my little nook, um, you couldn't see out the windows. I tried to look out the windows. They had all the windows covered. So I wasn't exactly sure where we were going. And then they woke us up about, I don't know, because I fall asleep. When I travel, I just go to no place space. Like, wake me up when we get there. I don't want to see spirit. Just, I want to wake me, I'll be awake during the takeoff and wake me up when we land. Skip, my quicks or trip. My trips are, that's how I used to do it. Anyway, so, they wake us up mid-flight to refuel in the air. And I was like, man, this is cool. I used to see this on TV all the time and stuff. Man, this is really cool. But I still, like I said, I can't see. And I'm trying to look out the window, but still the air is like very heavy. And I felt like I was intoxicated, even though I wasn't. And, it's a cargo plane. It's different than flying in a pressurized. Anyway, so then we land in Greece on the island of Crete, and then everybody that's on this cargo plane, they're finance people. I was I was flight line support. I was maintenance. There were crew chiefs. There were, like, whoever wanted to go, pretty much. War is a paid vacation to a lot of privileged people. It really is, and we get paid. And then like as we get there, and I get directed to my shop, we end up at the hotel, and it's like 5 o'clock in the morning. It was so weird how time was messing with me, because I came from Omaha, Nebraska, and then take a nap, wake up, and it's like a different day, a different time, and I'm on an island someplace, and I don't speak the language. And then they take us to a hotel, and it was a real nice hotel. It's the thumbnail of this talk. And they put us up in this hotel. They put many of us are military members up at that hotel, that while I was there, because we got there like 19th March, and we did Shock of Awe April 9th. So it was setting up. We were setting up the stage. We were setting up the lights. All the planes were coming in. All the guardsmen from all the guard bases from all over the United States, so they could get in on the action and put their page on the history book. I didn't even understand what was going on, honestly. I really didn't have any clue. My job. And then, like, up in the morning, even when I turned on the news, I'm on Greece, there's no English. I don't know what the news is saying. I'm not getting an accurate result of what the damage is being caused when I go to work. You know, I have no concept of it. I'm just going to work, and I'm going to use my extra pay to rent a car. My mom can rent a car so she can drive my dog out to live with me. That's been with her for the last, like, I wasn't thinking of, like, that we're dropping these bombs and people are dying and stuff like that. I wasn't thinking about any of that. I'm not a bro. I'm just a woman that was that had an ends to a mean to go to college, and then I ended up going to war. And here's my account of it. Now, before there's hangars, and I looked at, like, I'd have to go back to Greece because it's right next to the civilian airport. It's a joint task military base is what it is. I think it's like a naval base is what I was on. They had a bowling alley there, okay? And then, like, my account was they brought 550 Marines that were, like, ready to kill. They're like, we're gonna do everything we're trained to do. Let's do this, right? And then they all got on, like, their choppers and their big old planes and They all went over there and they did what men do in war, because a lot of guys, they get all worked up, they get turned on by war. It's gross. Violence turns people on. People like rough stuff, and then they include other people into their rough stuff fantasies that don't want to be involved, and that's the facts of war. And so these young men went and did 550 of them, or somewhere around there. Because I ask a lot of questions, and I'm going to the bathroom at headquarters, and and I'm looking at signs, and I'm looking at everything. I'm taking it all in. You can don't subscribe to me. You'll end up not. I'll say something that'll piss you off, and then you'll unsubscribe. So I'll save you those 2 clicks, okay? I hope you have a rad day though. So and then some lady tried to get me. Okay, so 550 Marines that left, and then they brought them back to the same hangar. They left these young men. Okay. 500 men in a hangar. 500 men, young boys, 18, 19, young, just all pumped up, just ready to do what men do. And then when they brought them back to these men, they were not the same men left. They were not the same group of men that left. They were the same soul sacks, they were the same vessels, they were the same bodies, but their minds and their souls were gone. They allowed these men the liberty to drink some beer, some alcohol, because that's all they had on. There's a bowling alley that sold beer. That's the only place on the whole base, And so they let these men, for morale, they gave these men permission to further lose their minds. So I wonder if there's any public record of any account where these 500. I watched the after effects of where these 550 young men trashed the entire base because they lost their minds, because they let themselves go, because they did things that men do in war. They weren't ordered to do. They just did it up by themselves. And then what happens is they go back home, and then they think about all the terrible things that they did. And at the time, they really liked it. It was, But then sitting at the dinner table at Thanksgiving with Nana, and Nana's going, "Oh, honey, I'm so proud of you. Thank you for your service." And they're thinking about what the services that they actually did. That's why they can't live with themselves, honestly. That's what war's about. It makes people do things. It's like alcohol. It takes people's souls. It takes people's spirits. It makes people drives people to do things that they never, ever, ever, ever thought that they could possibly ever have in them. Based on the Hawkins scale, it's the same reason little boys ride motorcycles. It stimulates them. There's some boys that they just can't calm themselves down. They can't find peace within. And girls too. I was one of those. I have so much energy in me. I like to use my energy and make trash talking memes. I made one just a minute ago. It only takes me a second. I get these funny little quips, and then I'm like, I wonder what, or how fake, how the multi-language databases will interpret the words I say. Because that's all AI. It's a big old warehouse of words, and it just puts them in order how it thinks you want it to be. So this is my latest one, and what it says at the top here, it's too bright. There, you can kind of see it that way. There it is. It's a picture of New Mexico. At the top it says, "We would never nuke ourselves. We'd never nuke the United States would never cause harm to its own people. And it says also the U.S. and New Mexico, Gasbury, 1967, Farmington. We tested an atom bomb. We dropped a bomb on ourselves. Because every time you test a bomb, you're making sure it's gonna do what it's supposed to do, but we do it to us first before we do it to somebody else. That don't even make no sense. And then that's just 1967. And then in Trinity White Sands in 1945, so that's twice my stupid cousins, because mom was born in Cuesta, bombed itself. But wait, just one, there's one more. Nome in 1961 in Carlsbad, New Mexico, dropped another bomb. So it just scattered its toxicity all over the whole entire state. The United States would never, ever. And people eat it up, and then they have the patriot, like the industrial military complex goes from, understand how vast it is. It's not just dropping, it's not just like the facade of defending this nation, and all that stuff. It's MASH. It's the TV show MASH, and it's all the people that for all the years have driven Jeeps, the product Jeep, because they come from a military family. And frankly, as a mechanic standpoint, maintenance standpoint, Jeeps are garbage. I had my air conditioner, more work done on it. I have a big system on my car, so it might be a puzzle piece that could, $300 here, $400 here, as it unfolds. But that's all right. I don't mind. I'm slowly replacing everything on this thing that I should get another 200,000 miles on the engine if I want to, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, you take care of stuff, and the stuff you take care of, it takes care of you. The United States kind of failed that. It's the spirit of the colonial, the colonists, the takeovers with the smiles on their faces. We're gonna do you a favor by taking all of your stuff, and we're gonna make it our stuff, and then you'll have nothing, and then you won't have anything to worry about. Well, okay, that's fine, but we're going to take all your stuff right back too, and you're not going to have anything either. So it'll be fair, because there's a terrible imbalance on planet Earth. And I often think about what the United States would be if the colonists came over and didn't take over, and make it theirs, but they worked with the people that were here. I always understand that cooperation is nature's way, and nature is also very brutal. Punch the monkey got hurt. He got bit on his little ear. I won't watch. I've been blocking evil stuff since Jackie got murdered. I'm so mad about that whole Jackie thing. They should have let her die there, and then Shadow could have seen, she ain't coming back. You can go on with your life, homie, because he loved her so much. No. What did they do? They made her bird nest and send her to a bunch of frickin' tribes that probably can't be bothered because they're at the casino. So don't talk to me about sacred the way people have crapped on this land. Just don't do it. Don't do it. Because I have indigenous blood. So I feel like I live the nature. I don't go to casinos. I don't live that res life. I wanna make life better. You know what they're doing at the Taos Pueblo? They're putting a frickin' Marriott hotel in. Is that the most colonial bullshit I've ever heard? Like, that's why it never made sense to me why people did a race thing, because everybody's all mixed up in my mind. It doesn't matter what the color of their skin is. Like the colonial spirit, that's all shades. The indigenous spirit, that comes in all shades too. It's what people do with their actions and not their words, because words are empty in 2026. Everybody's all sad about, the water and the drought and like, oh, the fire in frijoles or whatever. That thing's burned like 8,000 square acres. I think it's at something like that. Last I looked recently. How many acres? 7,794. That's my birth. That's my. Okay. That's weird. Because I just made a meme with 7749. That's funny. Anyway. Well, this is sad, so I don't want to switch gears. Focus. 7,794 acres with 1% containment. You want to know how many people are working on that fire? Want to know? I'll tell you. 133 people. 133 people. That's it. There are 2 million people in the state of New Mexico. You will get a better turnout. You will get a better turnout at a car show any Saturday, Sunday, any given weekend. You'll get a better turnout than people that drive down to the Taos Plaza, sit in their cars and stand around, and then their friends that they saw last weekend bring their cars, and it's all the same rerun, rinse and repeat, and the fires burn. The fires burn. The fires burn. The reset is here. My life has been reset so many times over and over. I'm just like, oh, are we here again? Because I've lived through earthquakes. I've gone to war. Like I just told the story about how I went to war. So like I learned when I was a little girl to value life. I just had a memory this afternoon, a minute before when I was Mom and I were brushing teeth, and I had a memory flash of what happened. I was like 2 years old. My mom was basically she was preyed upon by my dad. My dad's a predatory personality. He's a narcissist, and he was a very, very, very good-looking man. I don't think he's good-looking anymore. I think he lost it. Now he more or less resembles Epstein. Dude, when he was like 3 years ago, I haven't talked to him in years. Last time I talked to him, he was going through the process of having all of his teeth pulled out of his head, only for the reason that he didn't want it later to get false teeth. And then after he did that, to me, he looks like Jeffrey Epstein, and he's a creep, and he's a machismo, and he always bullied me, and he wasn't ever kind to me or nice to me, and I have to be careful that I'm not too mean, because half of his blood is in me, and he is such a mean man. And so, and Mom is such a dear, sweet lady that I just try to accentuate in her vibration, be more like Mom. And I made a meme that says my mom didn't raise no dummy, but my dad did. My dad got away with everything. He wasn't held accountable for anything, and he should have gone to jail several times over, but he got jobs where he should have been locked up. He got jobs at because of his mother's influence, and Mommy always bailed him out. And my mom wasn't going to raise her son to be like her son's father. So my mother was stringent in keeping my brother accountable. And my brother learned about how to manipulate people and hide real good. And now he's a lawyer for the state of California. Makes $240,000 a year, and told me, Mom is your problem. I'm like, man, that's harsh. All right, let's see how we get. Because he said, you always talk about your faith and how big your God is and stuff like that. And I guess this is going to be a real big test to that, huh? I said, okay, all right, I guess it will. I don't have any choice. Like you're me out to dry, and Mom too. And you love your life so much. It's wild that anyway. Your way of showing gratitude is really weird, but that's cool. And then we set off on this adventure, and then we end up in Taos County, the same county that my mother was born in. I didn't know where my mother came from. My mother was adopted. I had no idea where she came from. My whole life, I just asked, I pray, I just, they give me candles at events and they say, make a wish. I'd be like, where'd mom come from? Kind of thing. You know what I mean? Years I'd be like, where'd mom come from? Where'd mom come from? And then we end up in Taos County, and mom was born in Taos County, up in Cuesta, where her bloodline has been here since like the 1400s, like earlier before that. And then my dad, I found out he's the colonial blood. His and I was trying to go back and find all his as far back as it could go. It goes back like 400 years before the Nazis. Like my father's side has been hateful for that long. And mom's family has been steadfast in taking care of their community and that family for that long, until mom came along, and then they threw her away into an orphanage because she was born with 2 club feet. They didn't want to deal with a broke baby, because when things aren't perfect, people don't want to deal with you. I don't think like everybody else, so people just don't want to deal with me. And that's alright, because I don't really want to deal with people either. I had a very nice exchange with my nail girl, the lady that comes to trim Luna's nails today, though. I highly recommend her. She's close to booking out a month, so if you're in Taos County, Bubbles, I think, Bubbles Pet Grooming is, Peyton's her name. And she's got a real nice dog. I'm bad with names. I got a picture of her dog today. I said, can I take a picture of your dog? She's like, yeah, sure. And I said, can I put it on social media? Can I promote you? Yeah, sure. So, because sometimes people don't want to have any association with me. I got towed by this Dave kid at AAA the other day. I offered him some candy, turned me down. That's okay. I said, you know anybody else like an elder that is sick or something? It makes them feel better. It gives them an appetite. It's medicine. No, okay. And then I offered him one of my Straight People Like Rainbows 2 sticker. I said, and again, if you don't want it but know someone else that might like it, it's just an offering. And he totally denied me, and I was like, all right, cool, denied. I get denied all the time. It's like people think they're gonna diminish my spirit because they shut me down. It cracks me up. These games, I've seen people play them my whole entire life. Like, they're gonna put me in my place. I'm like, where's my place? I have no earth in my chart. I have no place on this earth. So there's no place you can put me. Because there's no place. People are so freaking trite, man. They're so predictable. I was watching. I'm watching right now. I just put background noise, comfort show stuff on. And a show my mom used to watch with my brother is Frasier. And I'm starting to see the similarities right now between my brother and Frasier. Because we're programmed by what we watch. My first remembrance of hey, you're like that guy. How come you act like that guy? It was that character Michael J. Fox before he got all before he got diagnosed with stuff. He was a character. He played Alex P. Keaton. I actually made a living amends to my brother one time. Drove him out to Dixon, Illinois. Why Dixon, Illinois? What the hell's in Dixon, Illinois? Why would you go to Dixon, Illinois? Because that's what he asked for. Because that's where Ronald Reagan was born. My brother's a 0-degree Virgo. They're easily programmed. All you got to do is tell them they're doing something good, but reward them by actually only doing things for themselves. I read astrology like really nobody else, honestly. Anyway, my voice is going. I've been talking for long enough. That's about all I got for now. I just wanted to tell my story about that time I went to war. And that's why it's so important that never, ever, 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 never let anybody that you care about at all. If you like, even if you don't like them, but like you had a good time, that you had a good time with them in high school, like they shared a snack with you or something like that. You're a poser, dude. Your mom failed. Like your mom totally. Like you, if she's still alive, she's probably completely disappointed. She probably wonders like what she did every day, what she did to be, like that makes it okay for her son to say things like that to strangers on the internet. What are you? Are you like? Is it past your bedtime? Are you 11 and you shouldn't be on the internet and you got your mom's iPad? Is that what's going on? That's probably what's going on. But I'll never know because I don't care what you say. Because you're a fucking creep, dude. Vibe higher. Okay? Maybe you should have been here a little while ago when I was talking about how I was a 10-month-old baby girl and some creep like you wanted to get it in, a little baby, and put it on the internet, okay? So you're not funny. You're not cute. Because I'm just one of many. Because it goes a lot deeper than just the Epstein files, if you want to be honest. There's a lot of people that, like me, that gross shit happened to us while our own siblings watched. And didn't even speak up for us because they didn't want to rock the boat. Why are you like, you know? So there's a lot of good actors everywhere. And unfortunately, we are at a place. It's not unfortunate for me. It's funny as fuck to me. But for dudes like you, I told this chick today that came over to trim the dog's nails. I said, here's a statistic for you. This is an actual statistic. 1 in 5 men in the United States, boys, males, whatever they want to identify with anymore, because they surely don't protect women and take care of their families and provide and not shit no more. They're not up for it. They're not real fit. 1 in 5 need a little blue pill to be a man, and if they don't, they're thinking about violence like, hitting prostitutes upside the head with bats on Grand Theft Auto. And then that stops stimulating them. So then they escalate and then they start going stuff on the streets in the night to homeless people and stuff like that because their mothers failed, because they didn't put these little brats in their place. And they didn't teach them that you don't always get your way and that you need to yield to your emotion. That drive, that power, it might be good sometimes when you need to fold laundry. But when you're playing with your child, you need to be somebody else. People have one loop that they play, and they want the whole world to fit on how they are. And that's weird and very selfish, I might add. I think they call it narcissistic when people just want it how they want it. I want everybody to be comfortable around me because I am uncomfortable when things around me are uncomfortable because it's called empathy. I think what that is to be a human is to feel the pain of others and want to stop it. That's how you take care of things. You don't make things hurt because it drives you to pleasure. And that's where the United States is now. It's being overtaken by narcissists. I got this movie on DVD recently. Maybe I'll watch it next because I'm not ready to go to sleep, but I'm ready to quit talking soon. I just got this. I like old I like all kinds of movies. This I think everyone should see. This. Boop, 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 boop. I love my job. Happy workers. If you don't know what this song is, I just posted a TikTok on it with this song on it. This movie, Cocoon. I'm gonna watch this again. I watched this when I was a kid when it came out. My father's side, they're the sensation chasers. They're the earth dwellers. They're the colonists. They do everything that the Joneses do. They are the census. At one point, my dad actually worked for the census. I'm like, how did he get a job at the census? The same way that they get all the good jobs, nepotism. The thing of it is, I Hessick never did me any favor. Like my name, I think I'm really going to see what I need to do to petition to court to drop Hessick and just go by Margie Ann. I think I'm going to do that. Because the family doesn't want me in it anyway. Bye, Stanley. He said, bye, I'm in a mood. So I think I might. You know? It's a trip. Life is a trip. And they just keep making up the rules. I found this statistic because everyone's all worried about fires everywhere. I saw a fire near Mount Hood. They're just all over the place. Last I saw, there was maybe I'll find out how many fires are burning in. How many fires are burning in the United States right now? This will be interesting. Let's see. And here's a little tidbit I found. Where is it? Taos Valley's snowmaking system provides coverage on approximately 193 acres. This coverage requires approximately 193 AF or 62.9 million gallons of water, assuming coverage depth of 24 inches. Approximately 1.5 acres of terrain, 0.0 acre on private land, and 0.07 acres on NFS land, which would utilize an additional 2.3 acre feet roughly 273,166 gallons of water each season. It's not just the data centers. It's hydro plants. It's fake snow. It's people that want to make money that care more about money than the people because they get stuck in loops. That's what it is. And these are the systems that are breaking and collapsing, and for that I'm grateful. And they just look at these up in your local area and see how much water they're using for your fake snow. And you get, like, when it does snow, it takes 12 inches of snow to make an inch of water. So instead of paying for snow because we need the moisture, what you need to do is just do a little rain dance. You're a poser too. Why do I get the dumbest trolls? At least when people accuse me of being a troll. What are you, Cindy Lamb? I'll come over and check out your content, okay? I'll come over and see what you're about, Cindy Lamb. No picture. I'll go see what you're about, because you're an empty vessel. You're low hanging fruit.